Adam, when you're ready.
Thanks. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Let's start with the team news then. I think you'd more or less ruled Byram and Bamford out, unless something has changed, if you could tell us. And what about Anthony and Carl Darlow, please?
Yes, Jayden Anthony is back in training, also available for tomorrow. Good news. Also, Carl is back in main parts of team training. Definitely not far away. Also to be re-involved. Also some good news for him. He was out for a few weeks. Right now, it's just back to him to reach his match sharpness before we call him back into the squad. But definitely injury time for him is over and he's back. It's definitely also good news. Yes, with Sam, I've mentioned it. I expect him just to be back in training next week. Definitely missed this game. With Patrick, it has developed in a positive way, so much better in the last days. It's perhaps not realistically that he's involved for this game, but who knows? We still have 48 hours. He has not trained with the team so far, but we have tomorrow also another session, and could be that he's involved in this session already. And if he's been involved, then he's also at least a topic for the squad on Friday evening. So some good news with him. He definitely will be available for next week, but tiny little chance perhaps that he can return back even a bit sooner.
That's good news. What about the rescan for Pascal Struijk after that adductor problem? Have you had those results back and whether he can increase his load?
Yes, was also positive. So he's allowed right now to extend his training load and to make him also hopefully then ready to join team training. So the doctors mentioned, okay, that over the next 2.5 weeks we have to build him up a little bit, and if everything works in a perfect way, then he can be back in team training. I mentioned, even if he's back in team training, because he was out for such a long time, I just expect him to be back available for the games after the international break. But overall, some good news, and it seems like it's not too far away that he can rejoin us in training, yes.
Great. Daniel, you said recently that things needed to happen this week and next, meaning last weekend and obviously this weekend. For anybody to have a hope of catching Leicester, if you like. That momentum is starting to swing already favourably, particularly after last night and at the weekend. How do you use that momentum now without going overboard to prepare for this game?
We want to use our momentum, so we have delivered top consistency so far during this year, and also top consistency in terms of performances and results. How we defended, just conceded 1 goal in the league so far during this period 2024. Have created many chances, have scored many goals, have won each and every league game, are also through in the cup in the next round. So perfect consistency. We want to use this momentum in order to keep going. Yeah, because yes, each and every game has the same value, I know. So it's a bit special game and also a spotlight game, of course. But it's more or less in 46 games in this league, you always have the chance to win 1 or 3 points. And this is another chance also for us to win the next points, to improve our position further on. And we have a home game, and we know we face probably the toughest opponent at the moment in this league. But so do Leicester, so they also know that we are a really good side. So obviously a very interesting a game for the outside world, and also for the pundits and for the media, and also for our supporters. Of course, we don't have to lie, but for us it's more or less like another chance to add the next points under our belt in order to improve our situation further on. Yes, and we want to use this momentum.
Do you believe you are the best team in the league, Daniel?
I think just it's just allowed to speak about this topic after the season. So the team who wins the title is definitely the best and the most consistent team in the league. And at the moment, you have to say credit to Leicester, because they are so far the most consistent side in this league. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there in position 1, and it was such a great point tally. So credit to them, and we also have to respect this. I know, though, we had a bit difficult start, and since the start, we have perhaps collected even a few more points in comparison to them, and have also closed the point gap at the moment. But you also have to say, so when you judge a whole season, they are the most consistent team so far, and for that we have to respect this.
So could you have asked for any more than if you go back to 8 games ago, you were 17 points behind after the first win of these 8. Now you can reduce that to 6. Could you have asked any more than to create a bit of jeopardy on Friday night.
Yes, but to be honest, I was never so concentrated on the point gap to Leicester. And even right now, I'm not too bothered about it, because even if we would win this game and close the point gap even a bit more, they have still a great point tally and they have everything in their own hand, and we can't influence their game. So for that's really not important. So what I like a lot is more like our consistency and our performance level and our consistency also in improving our point average, and this is quite important for me, and we want to ride this momentum further on. And I spoke also quite openly about the situation. I think Leicester has so many points at this stage. Even if we win this game, this side will definitely finish in the top two. So for that, I'm not too bothered about the point distance to Leicester. I'm just concentrated on our point tally, and we want to achieve a special amount of wins and a special amount of points in order to finish in the best possible position. But for that, there's a lot of work to do. So 13 more games. Obviously, it starts with the Leicester game right now, but we want to keep going.
And it means the top two going head to head. For you, Daniel, personally, how much do you embrace these occasions? How much does it make you feel alive, if you like? How much? I'm not saying it doesn't count for any more points, I get that, but there must be an extra little bit of something about this occasion for you.
Yes, I differ in my judgment. So on the one hand, I really judge it like just one of 46 games. So it has the same value like our last home game against Rotherham, or the last away game against Plymouth. So for that, it's just another occasion to win 1 or 3 points. So for the final table, it has the same value like all the other games. And I think it's also important to not to lose your calm and to lose your cool and to be over motivated for such a game. On the other hand, obviously it's also a bit special game, and also I judge it a bit in the way where we all once started to play football. So it's not like you were not thinking about the table or point gaps. You just wanted to prove yourself and to challenge yourself against the best possible opponent. And this is definitely the best possible opponent that we can face at Elland Road, because they are sitting top of the table, and we want to challenge ourselves against such a really good side, and want to show that we are capable, to play on the same level or even better, and in order to win the points. And obviously that's also a challenge, but I'm not too focused on myself. I never judge a game like this like a chess game between the two managers or something like this. It's more or less like I want to help my team, I want to help my club in order to be successful in such important games. So I don't take myself or judge myself as too important for such a game. I'm there to help and to support a bit, but the main stage is there for the players, and I want to help them a little bit to be in the spotlight and to be successful. I'm not too bothered about myself, to be honest.
During games between two very good teams, do you trust your players to spot tactical alterations if their direct opponent starts doing something slightly differently, or are you and your staff constantly on top of that and constantly giving instructions? How does it work?
I trust my players, and also we prepare them for different scenarios, and hopefully we work in this way also on the training pitch with them, that they are capable to realize, okay, what the opponent is doing, because we want to prepare them in the perfect possible way for this game. But it's also important for me and my coaching staff also to be spot on, and that the players can also focus on the base work, and they don't have to overthink too many things in tactical terms. So it's not like I just stand at the sideline with a hand in my pocket and have a coffee and can just enjoy the game. And if we lose the game, I just blame my players that they didn't realize that they changed their formation or whatever. So it's important that I stay focused and switch on in order to realize what happens on the pitch if they change their processes, if they change their principles or their base formation, whatever, in order to give some little hints. But we are also working in the way that the players, because let's be honest, so within such an atmosphere, sold out Elland Road, it will be loud and noisy. I can't tell them, okay, you have to play always this pass and that pass in this direction, that they also have the correct decisions on the pitch. So again, I am responsible for this, and I don't want to overload my players with the task during the games. They should concentrate on the base work, but hopefully I prepare them also in a perfect way, that they are also capable to find a pass from A to B without I'm telling them, you have to play the pass from A to B, because this is what we're doing on the at Thorpe Arch here on the training pitch, to work on our patterns, to work on our principles, to work on our decision making. So when they have to do it during the game, that they also then have a great chance to be there with the right decisions, and if not, them also there to help a bit.
When you play a team for the second time in a season, do you feel any challenge to do anything slightly differently, or does the natural development of a team bring enough variation?
Well, I would like to do the same, because we won the last game, we returned back with a clean sheet, and were quite dominant also, at least in several periods of the game with our pressing, and also looked rock solid once we had to defend. So I would like to repeat this, but we also have to take into account that they changed also their principles and processes slightly. There are obviously also in personal terms a few differences, and for that you have to prepare each and every game in a slightly different manner. And again, so I don't judge it in a way like a chess game between managers, and I have to be there with a magic thought to impress, that I'm in the spotlight. It has to help my team, and for that, yeah, sometimes you have to do something different, or to adapt also a bit to the opponent, but it always have to be in the sense to be pragmatical, that you help your team and not like you judge yourself. It's all about you. It's all about your decision making. And sometimes you can then, if you change too much and go too much away from your own setup and from your own way, this is also then a bit like a flag in the wind, and with this you overload the players a bit too much, just out of the intention that you want to be in the spotlight anyhow. And for that, I'm not a believer in this. It's still a players' game, and the manager should be there, obviously on top and in charge, and also on the front foot. But he's there in order to help the players to be in the spotlight and not to be in the spotlight himself.
You wanted to rest them a little bit this week and calm the load down. Have you had the sense that has worked, and that the players, the mental strain has been taken off slightly?
Yes, I think it was important also not to speak and to talk too early about Leicester and about the task. So I think it was also important for 2 or 3 days to leave them a bit alone in terms of too much information, because it's always complicated to prepare for a Leicester game. So for that, we just started more or less like today and tomorrow to speak a bit more intense about this. And the beginning of the week, it was more like to concentrate on good training sessions and our habits and how we want to play. And obviously also the first days after the Plymouth game, also in terms of recovery, I think it's necessary to clear the head, because if you're always burning from like a candle from both sides, then pretty quick the candle is done. And we want still to be there with energy, and also with a good fitness level, and also with good strong mentality and winning mentality, even in the 44th, 45th and 46th game days. So it's always quite important that you have this in mind, and for that it was and is still important when there is a chance to also to give them a rest, also from the mental point of view, to do this. And this is what we definitely have done. It's never guaranteed that you also win the next game then, but I think we are on the good path also in this terms, yes.
Hi Daniel, you've put together the club's best league winning streak for 92 years, so 2024 is going very, very well, but the team hasn't changed that drastically from what it was in 2023 for the first half of the season. The clean sheets have obviously improved as well as a part of that winning streak. 15 clean sheets now, the most in the Championship. How much of that do you put down to Ethan moving into defence and then Ilya moving into midfield? Because they're probably two of the very few changes you've made in the team.
Yes, obviously during this spell they were crucial in their positions, but this doesn't take anything away that Ethan was fantastic also in the holding midfielder role, or Pascal Sturck was also outstanding once he was fit and available. I would have trusted also with a fit Pascal Sturck and even Ethan a bit higher up on the pitch to be there with this consistency in terms of results, but shouldn't take anything away also from Ilya's performances or from Ethan's performances as in the centre back role. I think overall it's just this consistency is especially due to our work on the training pitch, because small details and just a few percentages can make a huge difference in football. And the longer we are capable to work with this team, the longer we are working in order to work on our work against the ball, to be absolutely compact, to be spot on in our pressing, to defend set pieces in a proper way. So the more time we have and the more time we have together, the easier it is also to improve and to bring the things on the pitch like we want to do, and the same also in possession and with the ball. So I think our good shape, our good form is more to really like that we were capable to work with each other for such a long time, meanwhile, relatively long time meanwhile. And I think this consistency and not to have too many changes also for the players is beneficial. When I think about my players in the recent months, it was relatively easy because they can work on one clear vision, how we want to work, how we want to play, the same values, the same patterns, the same principles. Also flexible, also in our base formation, also in the way we approach games, and we can also change, for example, the formation during the games. I think it's quite important to be flexible, but the principles how we want to play and the values how we want to play and to work never changed in the recent month. And I think when you have this consistency as a player and as a team, you can improve. I think in the month before, the players always had to adapt to different types and styles of coaching, of approaching the game, of playing, and this is then sometimes difficult. I think this consistency is the key why we are that consistent also in our results, and not like that. Thank God Pascal Struijk is injured at the moment, so I would love to have him back available, and this is quite important. I think that we had time on the training pitch. I think this is quite crucial, yes.
You touched on it briefly. The win at King Power Stadium at Leicester remains one of the best performances in the season, at least in my opinion. And how different do you feel the team is today from what it was then, and that progression you've seen, and how much confidence do you take from having beaten Leicester already?
Well, in terms of consistency, we have improved, especially also on the road. I have to say, because with also some dips in form, especially in efficiency, also on the road. And this is, I would say, the most significant topic that we have improved. We had also some outstanding performances in the beginning of the season, but perhaps not with this consistency. And this consistency comes with being more assured in what we want to do on the pitch. Also sometimes when there is a setback, when you concede a goal, or there is a setback during the game in terms of decisions against you, or with injuries of key players. And again, I spoke also several times about this. We have a pretty young side for this level. When I think about more or less starting from the goalkeeper, Ilan, still a pretty young age for such a crucial role, over whatever, Archie Gray till Jorginho Rutter, Chris Summer, Willy Nyonto. Must not forget all these key players are still in a very young age, and in a young age it's always a bit more difficult to show consistency on the pitch. But right now we work with these lads, and they are improving, and they are open-minded and greedy also to improve and bring more consistency and also more efficiency into their game. And I think this is what we have improved. So more or less the young players right now, also the experience that they have meanwhile also on championship level, also on this level when you face physical sides, when you face sides and you have to deliver all 3 days. So it was new for some of my players, because in the Premier League there are also many games, but not that many games like in the Championship, for example. And for that, to show this consistency, I think this is the most important thing what we have improved, and this comes along with soft skills that we're working on, with experience, but also with work on the training pitch.
How desperate is Patrick to play on Friday? Has he come to you and reassured you that he'll make it, and he's making good progress, and told you to leave a slot open for him?
Patrick is always desperate to play. He would even come with if just with one leg in order to play. So, but so do all my players. So obviously he's highly motivated also return back to the squad, but we won't do anything stupid, because it's not a cup final in the end of the season and you can take risks. We also need him definitely for the upcoming games, because he was crucial also in the last weeks for us. So we won't do anything stupid when it's not possible that he returns back to the squad. But like I mentioned, there's a tiny little chance and a few percentages, and he's also experienced enough in order to do nothing stupid. So we'll see how the next 48 hours will develop, and then we will see if he's back available.
How much do you think that clubs in the Championship care about the title specifically? The reason I ask that is you've got 2 already and you can never have too many on your record, but it feels as if the be-all and end-all is basically getting out of the league.
Yes, if I'm honest, it's the basic target and the most important topic. It's nice to lift some silverware. Thank God I've got this feeling, because it's also a very, very traditional league and very, very famous cup, and it was nice also to lift some silverware. But the main topic is obviously, so if you finish top of the league, or you achieve promotion by using the playoffs, it's the same. And you are playing in the Premier League next season. This is exactly what we wanted. And to be honest, so to win the title also doesn't help in the next season. I can remember my first promotion with Norwich. We promoted as a title winner with, I don't know, 94 points, was club record and nearly 100 goals, and everyone was celebrating us, and we were allowed to lift the trophy and to lift the silverware. And then we were promoted to the Premier League. Yes, and we decided then to pay for the sins of the past and to invest in the infrastructure and extend the contract of the players, and didn't have the money in order to improve the squad, and it didn't help us in the next season. And during this season, I think Aston Villa used the playoffs to go back to the big time, to the Premier League level. So obviously they won less points and had to use the playoffs. Yes, but they were able to spend 150 million pounds in the summer, and also I think 40 million pounds in the winter. And I think they were able to save Premier League status on the last game day. I think this was the season with there was this disallowed or allowed goal with Sheffield via goal line technology. So although they were just using the playoffs, they had a better advantage to stay in this league because. They were able to improve the squad, so the title didn't help us in the next season. But yes, it's nice to have something in the cupboard in the club museum, anyhow. So for that, it's really nice. It's also a nice feeling to lift the trophy. But as you mentioned, the main topic is also to be there with promotion, and this is I think the biggest target. Yes, and to lift the trophy is a nice little treat, and I enjoyed to do this, but not the main focus.
In your experience, do you find that the atmosphere at a training ground tends to change around this time of year when you really get into the sharp end? Because it's only natural for people to start feeling a bit of excitement or a bit of tension.
Yes, the closer you edge to the crunch time period of the season, the more you could sense there is also a bit more focus on how can we finish. And will we finish? And I think it's also important to allow this a little bit, but also to make sure that we are not over the line, so that we still focus on our principles, on our work, on the contents, what we have to do, instead of to be too carried away from knowing that you come right now into the crunch time period of the season. I think it's important to take a bit extra motivation and extra focus due to this fact. But it's also important to be not overexcited and not overmotivated. So it's also with my experience in the past with this title chase, sometimes you can be overexcited and you burn a bit too early from both sides the candle, and then you don't find the next gear when you need to do this. So I think it's important to find a good balance between, yes, we want to work even more with being more on it, but also that there is still another gear to find when it's really necessary. So to have this balance, I think that's quite crucial.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.